been 2.5 years since we bought our property, and in today's video I'm going to show you a condensed version of everything that we went through to get it from this to this. Hey there, my name is Yami. I am your Latina next door. Welcome back to mi casa. Back in 2022, we decided to move up north to Tennessee, and we decided to buy land. We ended up buying 19 acres, and we purchased it in May 2022. Our dream was to create our very own homestead and build our dream farmhouse. Our property is mostly pasture land, with a tree-lined area surrounding a small creek, as well as having our own pond. Our plan was to live on site as we commenced the build of our new home. However, there was a lot of things that had to be done first because it was pretty much raw land. So naturally we purchased a camper that would fit our family of 5, and then we had to install the infrastructure like electrical and water, which we pretty much did ourselves in order to save on costs. But of course, that took us several months to get it all done.
We have water. Holy shit.
By the time we got everything done, it was the following February, and then we discovered that we were expecting baby number 4, which was a huge surprise because I was already 40 years old. Naturally, this complicated things a little bit, and we needed a little bit of a bigger place to live in while we constructed the house because a camper was not it. So we went to our local Mennonite community and bought a shed-to-home structure, and we built out the entire thing ourselves. We DIY'd the majority of the interior of the space ourselves, making it as comfortable and homey as possible while we awaited baby number 4. We welcomed our baby girl in October of 2023, and while all this was happening, my husband was also researching everything he needed in order to finally start the build February of 2024. The first thing we had to do was create the brand new entrance to where our house was going to sit on our property. With the help of our neighbors, my husband tackled this himself. The large equipment to break ground on our house was delivered in the evening of February 7th, 2024. The culvert and driveway had to be tackled first. This way, the large trucks that were going to deliver and also do the work for the house would be able to be on property safely. It took us about 12 loads of gravel to get the driveway started. Finally, we started the grading for the actual house location. This commenced February 20th. Next, they delivered the wood for all the footers. February 27th, they began to pour the footers. We used about 35 yards of concrete for the footers. Here's an idea of the layout of the house via this aerial view. After the footers were dry, we had about 2 weeks straight of nothing but rain. So the blocks for the footers, in order to enclose the slab, wasn't delivered till about March 28th. On April 1st, we started to fill in the block walls with concrete. On April 4th, we began the trenching for the underground power. Of course, during the digging, they managed to hit our water line to the cottage which we were staying in. Therefore, we had no water temporarily. However, that was quickly fixed.
Oh, now you make me feel bad.
Uh-oh, now we'll video.
Oh, man.
This was an issue we came across rather often since we live on top of a mountain. We just have too much rock on our property, which is one of the reasons why we did not build a house on a basement here. Then on April 2nd, they began to deliver the gravel for the slab work. One of the gravel dump trucks got stuck in the upright position and it had to be towed away. This took about 15 loads of gravel. Next, it was time to deliver dirt in order to build up the side of the garage entrance. On April 5th, the plumber came in to do the plumbing work inside of the slab. Now, because my husband has taken on the role of GC for the build, and I'm in charge of the interior design and layout of the inside of the house, we have to discuss how everything progresses and make sure that it is in line with the final design of the home. Now, if you're considering building your own home, we have an entire series dedicated to building our farmhouse. In these videos, we go into depth and answer all your questions, including why we decided to take on this project ourselves and all the steps we took along the way. On April 10th, we began to excavate for the septic tank. We were prepared to encounter rock, so we had the huge hammer. However, we got really lucky and there was no rock where the septic tank was to go. Our septic tank is in, and now we have 500 feet of leach lines. It is now April 15th, and we are finally pouring our slab. The next day, we poured the slab for the front and back porches.
Well, I don't think that line looks straight.
Oh, what's the point of this one?
On April 18th, we are burying the electrical pipe that goes all the way to the transformer. One of the things that my husband wanted to have in this house was to build a safe room. So the blocks were delivered for that. The building of the safe room began on April 24th. Unfortunately, the door that was delivered was damaged and we had to send it on back. Next, it was time to enclose the safe room. Our metal decking was delivered. They were installing rebar and are ready to build the roof line so that they can pour concrete on the top of it. You can see from here how it's all coming together. Our new door for the safe room was delivered, and this time it was okay. The same day that the safe room was being built was also the same day that our lumber for the framing was delivered. Framing begins May 1st. It was finally time for the electrical company to come out and set up temporary power. This was on May 13th. The trusses were delivered on May 14th. However, because of weather, we had to wait till the 29th before the crane arrived and all the workers were ready to install the second floor trusses. Here you can see a close-up of what all the trusses and the framing look like. Next, all of the exterior wood sheathing had to be installed. Next, it was time to waterproof the roof so that the shingles would go down. We ended up going with traditional asphalt architectural shingles. The windows were delivered June 13th and they were installed on the 14th. And here's a little sneak peek of what I hope it will look like once it's done. The siding was delivered on July 10th, and they began installing on the 15th.
Here's Johnny.
We decided to go with those large glass sliders so that we can enjoy the view from our backyard. We can see the entirety of our property from there. Next, it was finishing out the porches. We decided to go with tongue and groove for the porch ceilings. And since Nelson was doing all of the electrical work for the house, he had to go ahead and install the electrical for the outdoor lights as well as the outdoor speakers and cameras. The tongue and groove was started on July 17th. During this time, we also had to install the final fascia board to surround the beams on the front porch. During all this, we also were working on the chimney and fireplace. The original plans did not have a chimney stack because it was set up for either gas or electric. But we decided to go with a natural wood-burning stove, and so we had to add this. We hired a stonemason for the job who had experience with fireplaces like this. On August 19th, they started the final grading for the perimeter of the house. On this day, they also prepped all of the walkways and the outdoor landing pads. In order to save on costs and because our driveway was so long, we decided to just do a pad outside of the garage entrance and then gravel the rest of the driveway. Right here, we're determining how exactly we want it to look. Then on both August 20th and the 21st, we began to pour the concrete. We did all of the sidewalks, the outdoor landing pads, and the exterior pad outside the garage. On September 7th, we picked up the exterior paint, but it wasn't until October 14th that we started prepping and painting the exterior of the house. Once the exterior painting was done, it was time to stain all of the posts, as well as the tongue and groove underneath the porches. And after about 11 months from our breaking ground date, here is where we are at. Next, we'll be taking you through all of the interior plumbing, HVAC, as well as electrical. This also includes insulation as well as drywall. And then, of course, the fun begins, where we talk about selections of interior finishes and start putting the house together. We will see you back here very soon with another update on our house. Until then, adios.